Okay, first thing I would like you to do is to put your hand on your heart and put your other hand on your main chakra, this one right here. And I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to tell yourself, I love myself. Okay? Ready? I love myself. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. It is impossible for me to tell you how to love yourself in 20 minutes. So I'm going to give you some pointers that have worked for me, and then you will have to decide which is going to work for you and take that home with you and turn that into something that makes your life better. First of all, I'm going to say that there are really 7 kinds of love. Most people only know about one, sex. That's not the only one. There are 7 kinds of love. 7. Our lovely Karen often speaks about them in her newsletter. She writes very lovely pieces on love and gives really good explanations about love. So if you want to learn a little bit about love, read some of her writings that she does. They're really very good. They really are. Okay, we're going to get to the point here. Loving yourself. First of all, you must stop all criticism of yourself. Every time you hear that little voice in your head say, you're not good enough, you're not tall enough, you're not smart enough, you're not kind enough, you're not loving enough, whatever it is.
I'm too fat.
That one too. Whatever it is, you actually have 17 seconds to change that.
Ooh.
In your mind. That's how powerful you are. So don't do that to yourself. Please don't do that to yourself. You know, when we're growing up, sometimes, unfortunately, we might have mentors or parents that might say things like, oh, you're not very pretty, or you're not very tall, or you're not this, or you're not that. Tell that person to shut up. Tell them to shut up. Because it's not true. It's not true. Next, you have to forgive yourself. That's a hard thing to do sometimes. Because sometimes we think that maybe we've hurt someone really badly, and maybe that person is still hurting. So in order for you to forgive them, you've got to forgive you. And how do you do that? Well, I'm going to give you a little technique that I learned a long time ago by a gentleman called Colin Tipping. And he said, all you have to do is say, I forgive myself. It's very simple. So when something inside of you is bothering you, and you think that you've done something and you want to forgive yourself, all you have to do is say, I forgive myself. And that sends a message to that wonderful mind and brain of yours. That wonderful mind and brain of yours. That wonderful mind and brain of yours that works so well for you. You've got to stop scaring yourself. We spend a lot of time terrorizing ourselves with our thoughts. We spend a lot of time saying some really hateful, mean, horrible things to ourselves. We've got to stop doing that because it's not true. Okay, so maybe you did hurt somebody. Okay, all right. We're not perfect. But you know what? You've got to stop terrorizing yourself. And you got to start thinking, you know what? I messed up. Oh well. You know what? I'm going to forgive that person. I'm going to forgive myself. And I'm going to stop criticizing myself. Because it doesn't work. In the long run, all it does is just have this constant chatter going on inside your head that you're not okay. And you know what? You're okay. Everybody's okay. You're okay. This one is really important to me. Please be kind and gentle to yourself. When you need to do something for yourself, okay, let's say you need to go to the doctor. I don't really like going to the doctor, but as I get older, I find myself there more often. When you have to go to the doctor, you say, you know what, I'm just gonna go there, I'm gonna do what I need to do, and I'm gonna get out of there, and I'm gonna go have some yogurt. Because it's not a pleasant experience. It really isn't sometimes. You know, sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not very pleasant because they tell you stuff that you don't want to hear. I know I don't want to hear it. And I'm a nurse. This one is so important. So important. You've got to praise yourself. When you do something good, I don't care how little it is or how big it is, you've got to say, I did that. There's a little commercial on television where this little kid says, I did that. And all he did was go and bring his dad something sweet and kind. But he saw it as something really great. And he said, I did that. I did that. So you got to praise yourself. You don't have to get conceited to praise yourself. You can just be kind to yourself. That's all. Support yourself. We need other people in our lives. We need people to support us. We need people to love us. We need people that we can talk to. We need people that need to be kind to us. We need people that need to support us. We need that. We really, really need that. That's why, in my opinion, this community is so important to me. This community and this community. One of the reasons why we do OMS is because community is so important to us. When we OM, we send a vibration out to the entire world and into the universe. That's pretty powerful. I'm going to surprise you with this one. You know what? Just love your negatives. If you don't like the way your hair looks, oh well, you know what? That's the hair that the universe gave you, that God gave you, and that's the hair that you got, you know? So you might as well love it, and you might as well take care of it, and you might as well make it beautiful as you possibly can. That's it. Unless you want to shave it all off. You know, I mean, okay, I'm going to give you a little story. When I was growing up, I had two sisters. One of them had wavy hair and one of them had straight hair. And guess who got the curly hair? Yours truly. My mother had straight hair, so she did not know how to take care of curly hair. So my hair was always cut short. Always. Because she did not understand how to take care of it. I used to love my sister's hair. It was red, straight, and long. It's beautiful. And my middle sister's was blonde, wavy, and long. And mine was auburn, curly, and frizzy. And there was nothing I could do about that. Not a thing. So, what did I do? I decided that I was going to embrace my curly hair.
There you go.
I embraced it. And you know what I did? I went to cosmetology school. Because I thought, they'll teach me how to do my hair. And you know what? They did. They did. I never practiced cosmetology, don't get me wrong, but I knew that in order for me to have the kind of hair that I wanted to have, I had to do something about it. And so I did. I went to cosmetology school. I learned how to do that curly hair because they teach people how to do all kinds of hair. Straight hair, curly hair, bald hair, whatever kind of hair you got, you know. So what's next? We hear this a lot. You gotta take care of your body. This is the temple that the universe gave you to carry around with you this time around. Maybe next time you might get a different one. I don't know. I just know that if you take care of this body as best as you possibly can, you have a better chance of being here as long as you want to be. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that? You have a better chance of being here as long as you want to be. Well, what does that mean? Well, for some people it means becoming a vegan. For some people it means becoming a vegetarian. For some people it means eating a lot of protein. I mean, we have to find what works for us and do that for our bodies. We have to find that. One of the things that's universal, absolutely universal, you must drink water.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, I don't like drinking water. I like Diet Cokes, and I like all kinds of things I'm not supposed to drink. But I make sure that I keep track of how much of that not so good stuff, and I replace it by drinking water. And sometimes you will see me sitting on my couch at night drinking water. Good water. Because I want to replace what I have, the bad stuff. I call it bad stuff. Some people don't, but I do. I want to replace what I put in my body earlier that day. Now there's a lot of things that I don't do. I don't eat a lot of salt. I love salt. I don't eat sugar. I mean, there's so many things that I don't do. But the one thing that I do, it's my responsibility to fix that as best as I can. And I've learned that by replacing the water by replacing the bad things that I drink with water, that I balance things out. And I'm 76 years old. So, I'm still here. And that's pretty darn good. And that's because in 1992, I made a decision that I was going to take care of my body. So I want each and every one of you in this room to make a decision right now, at this moment, you don't have to tell me what it is, that you're going to take care of your body in some way. In some way. Whatever that is. If it's taking the prescribed medication that the doctor gave you the correct way, do that. If it's drinking water, do that. If it's not eating meat, do that. Whatever you think works for you, do it. I'm not a nutritionist. I cannot tell you what to do. There are lovely nutritionists and there are lovely dietitians that would be more than happy to consult with you and tell you what you can do. But I'm not. But I want you to make that decision because it's extremely important. We have a man, his name is Daryl. And Daryl is very careful about what he puts in his body. All right, Daryl?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah, we've had conversations about that. Mirror work. Some people can't do this because it's so frightening to them. They can't look in the mirror and simply say, I love you. It's so intimidating. But if you could just do that once in a while, you don't have to do it every day. Once a month. Once a year is kind of long, but if you could do it, just look in the mirror. Look into your eyes. Look into your soul. Do you know that eyes are the windows of the soul? Do you know that when you look at your eyes and that you're looking at your soul? Do you know that? That's so important. It really is important. You are so wonderful. And when you look into those eyes in that mirror, you see the wonderfulness of you. Maybe not at the first time, maybe not at the second time, but eventually you will see it. You will see it. It's there. The universe wants you to know about it. It gives me chills when I think about it. The universe wants you to know how wonderful and special you really are. Every single person. on this planet. Even the bad ones that do bad stuff, they're special too. Unfortunately, they went down the wrong path, okay? So we won't think about those right now. We just think about the people who are trying to do the right thing. And those of us who are trying to do the right thing, please look at yourself in a happy way, in a good way. Please see how wonderful you are. One of the things that I do, and I've been doing it ever since I changed my diet in 1992, is I try to always tell people how good they look. I always try to tell you, you look good today. I love your socks. I love your hair. I love your abs. I love what you're wearing. Try to see the specialness in another person, and then you know what? You see the specialness in yourself. It reflects back on you. Most people, when you say something like that to them, they will say back to you, oh, you look so nice as well. You must love yourself. You must start loving yourself right now. Not next week, not next month, not next year, not when you get that degree, when you get the new car, when you move to Canada, when you go to Texas to visit the monument. No, right now. Right now. Immediately. Because when you love yourself, what happens? It makes it easier for you to love others. It makes it easier for you to forgive others. It makes it easier for you not to scare yourself. We spend a lot of time terrorizing ourselves and saying really, really unkind things about ourselves. And other people might say unkind things about you too. And you have to say, that's not me, that's not true, that's not me. Let me just say this. Everyone has the right to think whatever they choose to think. Everybody has the right to believe whatever they choose to believe. But because they believe it, it doesn't mean that you believe it, and it doesn't mean that what they say about you is true. So we allow people to say what they need to say, whatever that is. Whatever that is. And at the same time, we don't take that in. I have a friend, her name is Denise, and she tells me about the pink bubble. And what that is that you put a visual pink bubble around yourself when someone is jealous of you, angry at you, says bad things about you, you put it around yourself. All you gotta say is, I put a pink bubble around myself. Done. Right, Denise?
Absolutely.
Thank you. And lastly, you gotta have fun. It's always been true all my life that it has been very difficult for me to have fun. Why is that? I was raised by a mother and father who were extremely strict. They were very strict. And one of the things that they didn't want their kids to have is they didn't want their kids to have this idea that they were better than others. They wanted us to have the idea that people are people and they have the right to be whoever they are. As a result of that, I translated that into me thinking I had to be extremely responsible. And I have been. I probably would not have been able to accomplish some of the things that I accomplished in my lifetime had I not been so responsible. I love the fact that I accomplished what I accomplished. It's very good. I'm very proud of what I did with my life. I'm very proud. Did I do things that I wasn't proud of? Of course I did, because I'm not perfect. But I am also extremely loving and kind about myself for the wonderful things that I did do. And one of the ways that you can express that is by having fun. And so now I make it a point to have fun. I happen to have a boyfriend who likes to have fun. and he drags me along with him. And sometimes I go screaming and kicking because I don't really want to go, but I go anyway. I have friends who drag me on vacations. I have a friend, she's taken me to Paris and she's taken me to Aruba and all over the place. So whatever you do, make sure you have fun. Make sure you enjoy your life. This is the only one you have right now. It doesn't mean that you won't have another one, if you want to have another one. But this is the one that you have right now. So this is the one that all these things that I shared with you are important to you now. They're important to you now. And like I said earlier at the beginning of my talk, if you take one thing, just one, and you work on that one, whether it's looking in the mirror, or stop criticizing yourself, or stop terrorizing yourself, whatever it is, and work on that one thing, you will find that your life will change drastically. I love Science of Mind. I love Ernest Holmes. And I love the fact that he brought this philosophy to mind. And like I always say, the reason why I am a part of Science of Mind in my heart, in my mind, my soul, is because it works. And it makes sense. For me, that's so important. Please love yourself. Please take care of yourself. If you want to know what all 7 of those love things are, you talk to me or you can talk to Karen. And I will be happy to share with you what those 7 things are. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening, and I love all of you. Bye-bye.